Hearing none, we'll move on to the intergenerational mentoring program. Amy.
So in your packet, you should have a handout made up with some detail of some of the things that we've been doing. I also brought along a copy of I only have one, unfortunately, a copy of a new initiative by Basel Library. It's the Carlisle Institute for Lifelong Learning. So it's part of their intergenerational initiatives. And also, people continue to send me pictures, so I just brought some pictures to share with you. Share that while I talk to you a bit about what we've been doing. So we really appreciate the commitment that the commissioners have made through the most recent memorandum of understanding to demonstrate that their belief that libraries have the ability to adapt and evolve as our communities change, and our role in lifelong education and quality of life services to all the citizens of Cumberland County. And so in 2007, we embarked on this journey to coordinate and implement intergenerational programs across the county with the purpose of serving the needs of both our oldest and our youngest generations. And our staff members at the Cumberland County Library System and from member libraries met with staff members from the Office of Aging. And we identified various ways that we could bring generations together. We had coordinated efforts to encourage life experiences through mentoring and library programming. And they made commitments to meet with the senior centers, each of the senior center coordinators, and to start rethinking the locations and the methods that we use to deliver children's programming. Two of the most interesting and successful programs that we've done are listed on here. They were with the Episcopal Home in Shippensburg and Country Meadows in Hamden Township. So library staff actually went to those places. Residents joined kids and parents from those libraries for an ongoing series of special story times to include songs, story, crafts, and just general sharing between young and old. The pictures that I brought today have one from each of those programs. Libraries also met with retired teachers in Cumberland County and specifically recruited them in places like the John Graham Library in Newville. Their retired teachers are leading a homeschoolers book club. Frederickson Library is calling upon retired teachers to assist with a program they call Language at the Library. That's part of their daytime academy, which I've listed on your sheet. It's funded through Harsco, and it has many elements to it, but the Language at the Library is a foreign language immersion program. They currently feature German, French, Italian, Spanish, Brazilian Portuguese, and they're adding a program called English for non-native speakers. So that's how they're utilizing retired teachers. New Cumberland Public Library, this one's not listed on your sheet, but they also work with retired teachers. They started a program of, it's retired teachers and other retired professionals who have certified therapy dogs and come in to assist first and second graders with their reading practice. And they run that program, they started that here in September, and it will run through April. The Simpson Public Library has an interesting program that is listed on your sheet, and it's called the Teen Tech Crew. So many of the things I've been talking about have had adults as mentors to the children, but these are children, teens, mentoring older adults who have trouble with their electronic devices, computer questions, and so they are available on Saturday mornings. They've started doing that this year. They're available Saturday mornings to assist in that way. And New Cumberland is also embarking on a similar model of programming in order to give teens the opportunities to develop leadership and communication skills. At the Boston Memorial Library, I handed out the brochure for the new Carlisle Institute for Lifelong Learning. This was provided with seed funding from the late Russell Coe, and this institute will provide a series of educational, intergenerational programming and classes to the entire Carlisle community. So I've shared that brochure, and one of the things that's of note in there is Intergenerational Games Week coming up here, October 29 through November 4. So that's one of the programs that's listed in there. Bosler Library also had a really nice connection with the Carlisle Senior Center. They have been able to, similar to the story times that they're doing in Shippensburg and Camp Hill, they're able to take children and their programming into the Carlisle Senior Center, into that to work with the day program attendees. They're doing that also at 1 West Penn, so they actually made 2 community connections there. On the 3rd Tuesday of every month this summer and continuing now into the fall, Frederickson Library is encouraging generations to come together and talk to one another during something called a Day of Listening events, and that's also on your sheet. They use the StoryCorps app, if you're familiar with that. They are able to upload it to the Library of Congress for preservation of those stories. So it gives a space for one-on-one intergenerational interviews, and then they upload those to share with everyone so that the old and young are learning from each other. And one of my favorite stories of intergenerational programming comes straight out of my own office. We have the STAR program where we take books to the homebound, and we have a volunteer, a young man who wanted to volunteer. He has developmental disabilities, and so he has a caregiver who takes him around during the day, and she agreed to mentor him through the volunteering program to go select books and take them to a homebound person. And so, so he's also benefiting from that in 3 different generational, there's him as the teen, and then he's got his caregiver, and then working with the homebound. So to wrap this up, I just want to make sure that you know a lot of really exciting things are happening across all ages because of this initiative, because the libraries were asked to move forward and look for these sorts of opportunities. And I look forward to expanding it. With the county commissioner's support and commitment and cooperation of multiple county departments and agencies, we hope to provide even more innovative services and reach outside the walls and deeper into the community. In short, our successes are the community's success. And as we work toward the county's future, I hope we can continue to count on everyone here to continue working as our partner and achieving to meet the goals of Cumberland County. Are there any questions I can answer?
I don't have anything additional to add. We're really just here to show our support for the program.
One question. Maybe you touched on this, but you listed a lot of different programs and a lot of different libraries. That's fantastic. So there's a lot of good ideas out there. What opportunities are there, or is there any real cross-pollination between member libraries in terms of learning from each other on what programs are?
Definitely. We've been meeting, I think we've had 4 meetings through the year that have been specifically dedicated to this topic, where we've brought them together. We've included the Office of Aging in 2 of those meetings. So they're sharing these ideas and learning from each other, some of them copycatting.
So there is some. Okay.
Yeah, they're definitely specifically focused on this issue.
Great.
They aren't part of our regular meetings.
I just want to say, Carolyn, thank you to yourself and everybody at the system and our individual libraries and our Office of Aging. They're kind of like grabbing the bull by the horns here on this. And I give you a lot of credit for the progress that you've made here in the first year. And it's something I think can produce positive results, societal results in our county by allowing this greater interaction and learning from generations together. Learning from our older citizens, citizens learning from our younger citizens. So I hope you do keep it going. One of the questions I wanted now, does each one of the libraries now, do they have a program? Like what about the the library down in Mount Holly and some of the other locations? Do they have?
That is the only library that hasn't reported anything specific to me. Yeah, so they don't have a senior center in their area.
Mhm.
So that's a, detriment. I think a lot of this was inspired by meeting with senior centers and other groups. So, yeah, I've asked all the libraries, like I said, these different meetings that we've had.
Mhm.
We've actually had Amelia given at some of the meetings, the ones with the Office of Aging, they were optional participants. So.
Well, even though they don't have a senior center, I mean, with
They certainly do.
Amelia Given Library being right there, I mean, the library itself could serve, and to a certain extent, as a place for seniors to come and
Yeah.
so I hope that that's a possibility there, but I like the idea that you're doing different things, not everybody's doing the same thing. But I think that, I think, again, everything I've heard here today, what I knew from before, it seems like it's very positive. Appreciate, one thing in terms of, do we have, information about this on the county library system website? Or, because I really would like to see us maybe have something, available so that more and more people know about it. And in terms of retired teachers, were we able to get, or do we have access to, a listing of retired teachers in Cumberland County?
That I'm not aware of. I'm not sure how they've made their contracts with retired teachers.
I know the retired.
They talk about them as retired teachers groups, so.
Well, okay.
They've definitely got a connection.
Yeah, undoubtedly, the School Retirees Association would probably not give you a list of everybody, but they do have an association, so, if it's a way that we could, communicate with them to, again, advance the program. I think it's wonderful because, and you don't need to be a retired teacher either. I mean, it could be, any retiree who
Right.
might be interested in getting involved. And of course, I know a number of active members of our senior centers have been instrumental in terms of wanting to be participants in this program. So I think it's, that's very good. I think we need to keep it going. I know other parts of the state, they've done some things like this, but I'm not sure as to what extent and whether some of those programs are still, moving forward. But I hope that we can keep this new, and creative and ongoing here in Cumberland County.
I do as well, and I think a lot of the things that they've done are nice seed projects to start thinking about what's working and what's not working. And I agree with you that I like the diversity of programming, that they've really thought about what works in each of their own communities.
Yeah, that's good.
I see it just getting bigger as we move forward.
One of the things that I think too is important, and it doesn't happen all that often in our school districts, but anytime we can, teach our young children of, the local history of their communities, I think it would be really good, to bring our history into focus. They may learn about, the American Revolution and all that, okay, but they don't know so much necessarily about some of the historical things that have happened right here in Carlisle or East Pennsboro or New Cumberland. And I think it would be good, maybe to have a local historical society, perhaps a county historical society. Then we have some municipal historical societies around as well. Kind of maybe bring them into this and, teach our young people about their local heritage. So that, but anyway, it was just another thing that I thought of.